This is Las Meninas Project 10, and it's What Do You Think? So after the video was quite interesting, to say the least. There were definitely a lot of different new, unique perspectives, and to be fair, I was a little lost the entire video, but I still jotted things down. So Foucault's theory, kind of what he argued was like Las Meninas were not a representation of the royal family or the royal court or Diego Velázquez himself, but a representation of classical representation. Had no idea what that meant, but then when they went on classical representation, realistic portrayal of reality according to the perception of the artist. So that kind of confused me. I was a little confused only because I thought since he is using classical representation and that's the definition, then isn't he technically portraying what he saw and he just added himself in it? But I don't know. It didn't really it provided me with definitely a lot of different perspectives that I found interesting, and kind of taught me a lot of different definitions and things. But it didn't necessarily change my mind because I didn't necessarily understand it that much, if that makes sense. But then with the 3 objections, so Snyder and Cohen, how the mirror, this did actually kind of add something, but how the mirror reflects the portrait of the king and queen, and like questioning if the king and queen are in the room. I found that quite interesting, especially because I could actually see that being a possibility. So I found that quite cool because like in the actual painting, like the reflection, like in the mirror, the king and queen, it does kind of seem like they're so faded that it makes it seem like, yeah, you could be, like, he could be painting like a portrait, that the portrait is being reflected, if that makes sense. So I found that really cool. And that did kind of add more to my understanding, and that kind of, I could see that being possibility. Number 2 with Robert Wicks, I didn't get that one. When he said Las Meninas was meant to be viewed from a position of 4'7", which is the accurate height of Virgin Mary. And this was Las Meninas is Velázquez's attempt to display a journey of spiritual enlightenment. Yeah, I didn't get that. I didn't get the correlation between that. It's like, I didn't get that. Not at all. There's like a meme, and it's like the correlation between like X and Y, and they're 2 different things. That part, that was what this was for me. That didn't do anything for me, and I did not understand how the 2 met. And even though he used evidence of Velázquez's religious pieces, that still didn't connect the 2 dots for me. And then next, John Sorrell's Sorrell, yeah. His was that it defies classical representation, what goes against Foucault's. And then he claims that Las Meninas is the present representation of Velázquez, as he's in the actor representing Las Meninas. I didn't get that. And I feel like I didn't get that quite. I would assume. So my guess was that like what they were trying to say is that how Velázquez always tried to make himself want to be one of the nobles. And this kind of shows how he was representing himself along the court, amongst the court. So I was thinking maybe that was what they were talking about, but I'm not quite sure. So I'm not entirely sure if that was valuable to me, but the only one I really found relevant necessarily to me and my understanding was Snyder and Cohen's objection. So yeah, but that's about it. So that is my Las Meninas Project 10.